So radiation therapy departments are burdened with many complex tasks to ensure patient treatments are delivered safely and efficiently. Regulatory requirements, task group, and manufacturers' recommendations for quality assurance keep evolving, but that usually means adding more tasks to the department's already long to-do list, as I'm sure you all already know. Choosing a QA management system that suits your department's needs is critical to successful implementation, standardization, and efficiency. Overcomplication is the death knell of some products on the market. There's simply too much that's too complicated, requiring the need for dedicated coding resources within the department, and oftentimes it means recreating the wheel every time you want to produce a trending chart or report. Others are so limited, supporting only their products, that you are boxed in, potentially forcing your department to spend precious budget money to buy specific vendor equipment to even make it work. Ideally, it's best to have a system that accommodates the equipment you already have, follows your clinical workflow, with a robust foundation for smooth implementation and support. And that, my friends, is QA Pilot with PIPSpro AutoPilot. QA Pilot with PIPSpro AutoPilot provides all the tools needed to easily increase efficiency, security, compliance, and accountability, which is hugely beneficial to users. It is a truly vendor-neutral solution, which is also a great benefit to users, as it means that they don't have to replace their existing QA devices in order to use this powerful QA management software. And note that vendor neutrality for QA Pilot with PIPSpro AutoPilot extends to more than just Linac manufacturers, but also to QA device manufacturers as well. QA Pilot is provided as software as a service model, which offers instant benefits of lower entry costs, as there's no large initial capital equipment investment, lower maintenance costs thanks to a minimal local footprint and automatic software updates, lower hardware costs since the service is delivered via a web browser, thus eliminating the need for expensive specialized hardware, and scalability. Grow your QA platform as your organization grows. Using QA Pilot with PIPSpro AutoPilot is made simple with menus, dashboard views, and customization so users can see what is applicable to them in their roles. We make setup easy with uncomplicated presets for machine types, user roles, QA templates, machine logs, and so on. But we also understand the need for flexibility, so allow customization for this, all of these and more. Take user roles, for example. If you have an accreditation review coming up, then provide an auditor with a guest login to access QA reports, departmental documentation, and machine record logs similar to this. Therapists come into work and they open QA Pilot to easily begin their morning daily QA routines. Any other assigned tasks or departmental communication about those machines that are assigned to them are also visible and easily accessed for them to review. The chief physicist, of course, has the oversight of all the sites and machines under their responsibility. So features like collapse all and expand all, various filters, color coding, and worded alerts and warnings allow users to navigate quickly to what is important to them. It is important to note that QA Pilot with PIPSpro AutoPilot isn't simply about performing and reviewing QA schedules, but there are also plenty of features that increase effective communication and process improvement for the department as a whole. Documents of all types can be uploaded, stored, and shared within QA Pilot. Machine logs and incident learning system logs are used to track a variety of items that concern the radiation therapy department as a whole. And analysis allows those responsible to compare trends across sites and machines. As indicated in the name, QA Pilot with PIPSpro AutoPilot. PIPSpro AutoPilot is the latest add-on feature to QA Pilot, which allows users to take advantage of our automated image-based tests. Whether it's for TG142 or other protocols concerning image or machine QA, PIPSpro AutoPilot will automatically analyze uploaded image files and display those results in the assigned schedule. No manipulation of images is required, no need to mark fiducials, no need to define analysis regions. It's all done automatically. As with QA Pilot generally, it is incredibly easy to create customized QA schedules that include PIPSpro AutoPilot image-based tests through template management. We offer a number of preset templates as a starting point, that robust foundation I talked about earlier, from which you can create copies and modify to suit your needs. Or you can add the newly available image-based tests to one of your existing QA schedules. An icon indicates image-based tests, as seen here, from within the available test section of template management within the software. As with QA Pilot, we enable you to take control of your workflow. So once you've selected either a group of tests or an individual test, and it becomes part of your selected test, you can then organize those by test or group of tests into the workflow that matches your clinical workflow. Our rapid development team has already improved upon PIPSpro AutoPilot with the introduction of managing the automation of bringing in those images and analysis via the equipment hub, similar to what we already do for daily QA devices or Variant MPC, for example. You can still drop and drag images into a template or a schedule for analysis, but the equipment hub is listening for them and will bring them and automatically analyze them. The images, test results, and trended data are all automatically added to your database in the cloud as well. Monthly QA is often done throughout the month, which is very nicely supported by PIPSpro AutoPilot. Summary results for each test section are displayed so you know immediately when something needs further investigation or what's been done or not done. Click on an incomplete test noted in the report to go straight to those sections and pick up where you left off. We'll take a look at this in the software. Now, let me get over there. Okay, here we go. We will go here to QA Pilot. So, as I mentioned before, we have those expand and collapse. It's easiest to just start here, an overview. These happen to be the demo hospitals I have available. You would, as a therapist, like I said, go into schedules. You can expand an individual site or all of them to see the status very quickly. If you're a therapist, you're going to go into perform that QA. If you're a physicist, you're likely to want to see what's going on in the trending, and you can access that straight from the dashboard, one of many dashboards we have within the software for that quick overview. You can also view reports. So you get a list of, I had defaulted to machine reports, but you can also view reports. And again, here you'll see very quickly if there's any comments, if there's any warnings, and then you can select right into that report and go take a look at that section, navigate straight to what you're looking at, and determine whether there's something more that needs to be done, if you want to add a comment, if there's additional QA that you may want to perform. So, as I said, oftentimes you're going to start your day as a therapist in the schedules. Even as a physicist who may be performing QA will start there. But oftentimes physicists are really going to be focusing in on the review page. What do we have here for your viewing pleasure. We have the reports that have been completed. Again, you see their status. If they are in process, they weren't finished, you can continue to do so right from this screen. Any machine logs that are still outstanding, things that need to be done, are here as well. You can take a look at the details by simply clicking on them. And then for equipment, anything that is due for a piece of equipment, a recalibration, a go in for service, scheduled service, or things like that, that has been assigned to a device appears here within 30 days of the due date, and they appear in red when they're overdue. So shame on me, I'm overdue. So you can click on that. It'll take you right in to the calibration area. So I've got an updated cal report sitting in front of me, and my new value is 211. What was my calibration date? It was October. Let's say it happened yesterday. Oh, no, it happened Monday. So its expiration date then will be in 2024. We're going to be doing October, and we'll just select that date and we're good to go. And you can attach a copy of that cal certificate right here within the software. As a physicist, there are things like this that you need to sign off on to say that they are good and proper and done and completed correctly. So very nice, easy navigation within the software. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the reports. So on the review page, we have the reports for the QA schedules that have been performed. Any QA, basically your electronic checklist or workspace to perform, say, TG51, for example, will appear in the reports page. Whether signed off, number of tests performed, as you can see here, what's happening, and any comments that may be there. But there are other types of reports than just the standard, let's go take a look at the QA schedule that was performed that day and what that looks like. You can also create what we call periodic reports. And I will open this one. So you can get summary, they're a summary type of report with some basic analytics here, and you're trending for that data. Another type you can do here is you can generate a specialized report to your liking, selecting various elements that you want to include. So again, customized to your clinical workflow. You can run that report configuration, but note that you can also save it so it can be rerun in the future. You can also run a report on machine log items, which is, again, important not just for the physicist, but for the department as a whole. Are we going to be able to treat on LINAC A today? What have we resolved? If it's one of those very old machines and we can track its machine log via the machine reports, then we can start looking at whether it's time to budget for a replacement LINAC. So lots of functionality here that's important to the department as a whole. Let's see, on the review page, I also want to mention down here, you can view the tasks that are associated. Not only are tasks here in the review column that may pertain to machine logs and equipment, but you can add a task for any person, including yourself, via the task on any page. But you can also, when you see one pop up here, see a task that has been created on that particular page if it needs to be marked as finished. If you need to edit it for whatever reason, you can do that. A nice thing about when we create tasks is that you can set a reminder. If it's a longer term, like it's only due on a quarterly basis, you probably want to give somebody a heads up a month in advance or a week in advance. And there's an internal HIPAA compliant email with QA Pilot with PIPSpro AutoPilot so that you can email the assignee and let them know this is on their to-do list now. And you can also choose to be emailed in response when that task has actually been finished. So that is something really nice as well. So we'll just cancel out of that. Now, getting back to a bit more about departmental communication and how we help you organize and standardize your physics tasks, as well as departmental communication and documentation, we have a document section within the software. This can hold reports, it can hold Excel spreadsheets, PDFs, image files, anything that you may need. It is a great place to organize your data for a regulatory or audit review. Because again, you can create a guest login and they can view just the documents and the reports generated from having performed QA schedules. That's really what they need to know, proof that you've performed things and against your procedures, how do they compare? Are you up to snuff? And it's also important if you're doing tracking any process improvement sorts of things, you have a certain procedure in place that you've determined that it's time to update that procedure, so you can revision it here by giving it a new rev. You can also make sure that anybody who needs to know about this updated procedure is properly informed. You determine which roles as well as which locations need to be informed about it. If it's an update to an HDR brachytherapy room, it probably doesn't concern Cedar Cancer Center that doesn't have a brachy vault. So again, you can customize it to what is specifically needed. You can assign sign-off dates, and again, via the HIPAA compliant email, you can include a message and be notified when people have signed off on it. This is really a way for you as a department to gain efficiency while also improving your communications. One of the other things I alluded to earlier is that we have analysis. So as a physicist with multiple locations in Linux that are important to you to verify, you can go in here. I don't have much data in here, but for example, for any test that is assigned to multiple Linux or multiple sites, you can get some basic analytical information. So here I just chose my beam checker. And if there were multiple sites using beam checker, Maple is using beam checker and running the same test, you would get some standard deviation, mean and median information, as well as distribution comparisons. And we make this available for you to export as a summary report or all of the data that we may have on that. So again, the type of thing that helps towards process improvement. It's the type of thing that helps you determine whether a LINAC is aging out, because it's just not, it just seems out of whack. Its age is starting to show up in test results, and you're spending too much time having to get things resurfaced or tweaked. These are very good ways for you to be able to start doing some comparisons, some analytics for your department. Back into schedules. Sorry, I'm bouncing around just a little bit, but want to highlight as much as I can in the short time we are given. I would like to go over to this temp schedule that I've created just to show you a couple of things. So we have a lot of customization built into the system with custom tests and custom tables to really be able to replace your Excel spreadsheets more and more, or any type of checklist that you're still maintaining in other places. So this is my little playground where I've created a few different things where you can note we have a table of data and we're averaging our readings. We're also calculating a standard deviation. Depending on things that are energy dependent or angular dependent, you can again create data tables for this information and you can average. We have all kinds of things that you can do here. And the other thing I wanted to show is this is where you have the drag and drop. You can also select to just get your data connected to the equipment hub, which is basically a listener looking for new information. And once your files are saved in their centralized location, the equipment hub will find them and bring them in. And it will display the images that were analyzed. You can blow them up and look at them. and also the data related to that, which in this case is for our MTF curve, our spatial resolution, contrast to noise, that type of thing. So lots and lots of customization available to you there. The other thing that is wonderful about our product is there is a full and complete online, basically the user manual is online as well, but it is very easy to view anything that you want to see. It's by article. You have a nice search function. Everything is mentioned in here on how to set things up. And of course, we are here to help you get started as well. We do not abandon you. We're here to hold your hand along the way and really make sure that this is as efficient and complete as possible to get you started. We always recommend that you start with a daily QA routine because that's what everybody does every day, and therefore they become very familiar and we grow that. Another thing that is very nice in our, as I mentioned, in our template creation, we offer a variety of presets to get you started. You can copy them. You can view what tests are included in any one of these tests. This is also the workspace where you modify things. And we have simplified. I have a lot here because I play a lot in the software, obviously, but it is actually very easy for us to help you create a master template that will cover your variety of machines, a variety of Linux, for example. One might be a TrueBeam, one might be a Trilogy, one might be an Electa Versa HD, but they all have basically the same types of things. You can create a master template and then very easily make individual tests or test sections not applicable to a specific location or specific machine as you assign the schedule to different Linux depending on what QA you need to perform. Again, we've created a lot of built-in custom tests. They are sorted as originally started with the software based on TG142 tables. And then you have a variety. You can take a look at what each of these look like so you know how it will show up in your QA schedule and what will need to be entered versus what is calculated. What else did I want to say about that? Again, you organize your tests according to what you want. You can simply just drag and drop them to be in the order that works for your clinical workflow. It is also important to note that, again, we don't ask you to reinvent the wheel. So anytime you've created a custom test, they will be added to your list of available tests forevermore. And again, just to hit very quickly on the customized tests that are available, we'll expand this a little bit. If I'm going to add a test, I can do that. And very easily, you can already see you have a lot of things that are available to you, or if a numeric test, what types of mathematical functions can be performed. For a deviation test, we give you even more flexibility in being able to customize those tests, whether you want it shown as a percentage, you want to use a common value. Ratio tests also, do you want to use a common denominator, average or numerator? We've done a lot of things to build the flexibility into here for you to really be able to replace those spreadsheets and make them usable for whatever Linux you care to assign it to. I believe that that's really the highlights of what I wanted to go through today. There's a lot more information in here. Each one of these menus has a variety of things that we could delve into and show you further. So I certainly invite you to contact our sales team and get a webinar scheduled for you. or your department. It is very important to include not just physicists on these conversations to see how it would work for the therapist, for the administrator, because the product has a lot to offer for all of those different roles. Also your IT support even. Now I'll go take a quick peek in the couple minutes that are left to see if there are any questions. And I am not seeing anything in here. So with that, I'm going to just say thank you ever so much for joining me today. Invite you to check out this and more of our products and solutions at our website, standardimaging.com. And again, reach out to me individually at azens@standardimaging.com or contact our sales department, and I would be very happy to delve into any details that you would like to understand more about how QA Pilot with PIPSpro AutoPilot is a wonderful, robust foundation with customized flexibility to really help your department gain efficiency and get organized.